Rachel. I'm a homeschool mom to two boys, grades 3rd and 5th. And today's video is going to be about chapter books for boys. These chapter books that I've put together, my children helped me put together. I have two boys who do love to read, and so sometimes it can be difficult to find book series that boys can just dig into. My last video was a few ideas to help promote a love of reading with your children if that is something that is a struggle in your household. So if you need a few ideas, I'd recommend you watch that last video. But the books that I have today were picked, almost all of them were picked by my children. I did add a few here and there. Now, before I get into these, I do highly recommend that you take a few moments to do a review search on the books before you hand them to your kids. Now, all parents are going to have sort of a different standard of what they want their kids to read, and that is perfectly fine. And what is okay for our family may not be what you would pick. And so what I do, because to be honest, I do not have the time to pre-read all of these chapter books. That is something I'm not going to do. But I do have time to do a few minutes of a Google search to check reviews. So I have two websites to recommend. The first one is called Common Sense Media, and I use that one quite a bit. And then the other one is called Redeemed Reader. And I will go ahead and link both of those websites down below. But again, it's going to save you a whole lot of time so you don't have to pre-read all of the books that you want to give your kids. So you'll be able to know what's okay for your family and make the best choice for your children. So one thing that on my last video that I did talk about was going with your kids' interests. So you will see that most of these, a lot of these, either have monsters or they are some sort of detective book, some sort of mystery to solve. Those two are kind of the two top ones that I have. Now, a lot of these books are series, and one problem when your children get into book series is keeping track of all of the books in the series. That is not I'm not to the level of organization where I have figured out how to solve that problem. And so the books I'm showing you, I'm going to be, if they are part of a series, it's going to be a random number. It's not going to be number one. And I definitely don't have the full series to show you, but I at least have one to show you, and I will do my best to link everything below. Some of these books are Usbourne, Kane Miller books, and so I do have a link for that. It's called Paper Pie now. But just so you know, that is a personal code, so if you choose to buy from that link, I do get a commission. And so I don't want you to feel like I'm tricking you into that. You don't have to use it if you don't want to, but that code will provide a commission for me if you choose to use it. Now, there are more chapter books my kids have read than what I'm showing you today, but I would say makes for a good chapter book for your kiddos is, for one, do they want to read it more than once? If they pick up this book to read it through a second time, you know that that's them kind of picking out one of their favorites. Another thing is, do they ask for the next book in the series? That has happened quite a bit, and I always make sure if they ask for that, I go ahead and grab that. Another one is, do they want to talk about what they're reading? Are they excited about it? Are they trying to get their dad or their brother or their mom or their friends to read the book too because they think that they will like it? And then lastly, does the book does it encourage some sort of creativity outside of reading? For example, Hotel Flamingo, I'll get into this one, but it's about a hotel of animals. And so currently, my son has put together a hotel in his bedroom for all of his stuffed animals. And so there's other books here that have inspired creativity outside of reading, but that to me shows that it is one of their favorite chapter books and it inspired something creative out of it. So I am going to go ahead and get started with all of these books. The first two I have are for early readers. The first one is Narwhal, Unicorn of the Sea. If you did watch my last video, you will know that I had suggested for your early readers to get them books that look like chapter books, whether they are or not. And that will help boost a confidence in reading with them. The next one is an Elephant and Piggy book. This large one actually has 5 stories in it, so it's kind of like a chapter book. But these ones are cute, they're funny, they're goofy, and so these ones have been a whole lot of fun. So those are 2 are for early readers. Now these next ones, one of my suggestions from my last video was go with their interests. My kid loves dogs, and so we do have the Berenstain Bears, The Epic Dog Show. And this one just has a few pictures as well. But both of them have read that one a few times. And then I have Fizz and the Police Dog Tryouts. There is more books in this series as well. And this book is a Kane Miller book. Another Kane Miller is the Hotel Flamingo. This is the one that my son has inspired him to create a hotel in his bedroom with he's basically made a blanket fort for all of his stuffed animals. And he just finished this one. He really enjoyed it. And I just went ahead and purchased the second book in the series for him. I think there might be 4. And this is also a Kane Miller book. And then The Dead Sea Squirrels. This is apparently very goofy. My son did ask for me to get more books in this series, and so I have gone ahead and purchased those. Here's a picture of those. And I bought these ones, I believe, off of christianbookstore.com. And it says it's from the co-creator of VeggieTales. So these ones are pretty funny. Now, these next books are all monster books. My children love monster books. So, Billy and the Mini Monsters. There are so many books in this series. This is really good for your early readers. And we have a whole load of these. These are an Usbourne book. Calendar Mysteries October Ogre was one that they both liked. This was just a random one. I'm not sure where I got this one, but I know that my kids do love monsters. But the thing about the Calendar Mysteries is there is one for each month of the year. All right. The Notebook of Doom took over our lives for a very, very long time, and I would say it still does. There are a lot of books in this series, and then it came out with Binder of Doom, and I think there might be 3 or 4 books in this series. And then they also have, which I had in my pile to show you, but my children took, they do also have this book here. So let me talk a bit about the Notebook of Doom while I show it. It's about these kids who are in this club, and they're trying to catch these monsters. And then they talk about it, and they write down how to fight specific monsters in their own Notebook of Doom. And so there is actually the Notebook of Doom book that you can get your kids, and it looks like the kids' journal. So my kids... This was a fun one. This was, I suppose, a fun one. One of these books is about balloon goons, which is those really tall balloons that are often at a place where you buy cars, and they kind of just float around in the wind. And every time we drive by one, it's a big, big deal. And then they also have the Binder of Doom. So... when it comes to inspiring creativity, these books really did. They started making their own journal. Again, they absolutely love this book that they took, and I can't find now. I was going to show you guys, but those are great books. All right, another Kane Miller, Leo's Map of Monsters. I believe there's 4 books in this series, and I'm pretty sure we have all of them. So if your kids love monsters as much as mine, there's a whole bunch of ideas. And then my children and my husband do like D&D. I've never gotten into it. I really don't know much about it. But they do have some chapter books with D&D. And so this was going along with their interests and finding chapter books with their interests. So there is that one. Now, my children also love dragon books. So some of their favorite dragon books are the Dragon Masters. I'm not sure how many are in this series. There's at least 4, but I thought that there might have been more. But these are illustrated early chapter books. So there's that one. And then there's this one by Ted Decker, and they found dragons. I believe there are 6 in this series, and my son really loved these ones. And then there is Dragon Torch, which is actually written by my dad. So you can buy this one on Amazon. So that one's kind of cool because their grandpa wrote that book. And then the next few books I have to show you are detective books, mystery books. Now the first one's here. It came with a whole pack of Sherlock Holmes books, and they've been rewritten for children. Here's just 2, but I think there were like 12 in these. And my son absolutely loved these, and he probably read all of them within a day or 2. So these ones are really nice. These are nice to have just have in your car too if your kid doesn't get car sick. Another one that my son absolutely adores is Encyclopedia Brown. We do have a few of these. I think there's more than here. In fact, we just recently got a new one, and he was super excited about it. So if your kids get excited over a book series, you know that's a winner. Now we do have, there's a younger series of the Hardy Boys. And I'm not sure how many of these are in this series, but we do have, I think I got him a pack of maybe 5. I'm not sure, but there are these ones. These are more detective ones. Clubhouse Mysteries is another one that we have a few of these. I think this is book 2. This is book 2. The Animal Rescue Agency. This is a newer book. Here's book 1. I had gotten my son the first one, and he loved it so much. He asked for the second one, and it wasn't even out yet. So I had to pre-order this one, but this is one that he really enjoyed and asked for the second in the series. This book, Sherlock Bones. We were at Half Price Books before, and this was a random, I just saw them on the end of a bookcase and I just grabbed them. I think there were 4. And he they both really enjoyed these ones. So, Sherlock Bones. This is a Kane Miller book, Cosentino, The Mysterious World of Cosentino. He's a magician, I believe, or an illusionist is what he is. And I think there are 3 in this book series. And then we, National Treasure had chapter books. So that was one of the things where we saw there was a movie, and then I thought, oh, I wonder if there's a book that goes with it, and there was. And so this was kind of fun because they did enjoy those movies, because my kids love mysteries. All right, just a few more here of their favorite series. I have to throw in Harry Potter. Everybody knows Harry Potter. This is the second one. And so I am reading to them book 1 right now. My older son has read through book 4. I think he's currently reading, he's in the middle of 5. And we have done the audiobook through book 4, but I'm reading to them as well. So anyways, Harry Potter obviously is a big one. There are the Secret Hero Society. This is a DC book. This is Batman, Catwoman, I think. No, that's Wonder Woman. Oh, I don't know my superheroes. I don't know who this guy is. Green Arrow, maybe? Sorry, don't come at me. I don't know who that is. But it's them as children. They're at school. And so this has been one that my kids have enjoyed. And I do believe there are more in this series. My kids have liked the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He just reread this one. This is a book he is reading for the second time because he liked it so much. The Candy Shop War. This is kind of a thicker one. Try not to lose his place. He just started this book maybe 2 days ago. So he's gotten pretty far in it. He really does like this one. And then my last group here are a few historical fictions. Historical fictions have always been my favorite. They're what I enjoyed as a kid. And I think that they're kind of a nice way. So I don't know if my kids would have picked these as their favorites, but they're some of my favorites because it's teaching them a bit of history, and so then mom is happy. So Number the Stars, this one actually was mine when I was a girl. This was one of my favorite books. So this is one that they have read. One of them has read. I don't think my younger son has read this one yet. The I Survived series, there are a whole bunch in these, and I would definitely maybe check out those websites I'm linking below on reviews, because some of these topics are harder topics, so you may want to know just kind of, or pre-read them. They're not that long, but you may want to know just kind of how in-depth they go and see if you're comfortable or if you think your kids are ready for that. But this is kind of the inside of what these look like. And we have a whole bunch of these ones. G.I. Dog, Prisoner of War, and then the last is Epic Historic Adventures. This is a Kane Miller book. I believe there are 3 in this series, and we have all 3. This is Fearless Frederick. All right. So, I don't have one of their most important ones. Hang on. Could not forget the wing feather. I think I said in one of my last videos, this took over our entire lives. There's 4 books in this series, and then they also have, I think, at least 3 other books that kind of go with the world, like world building things. And they have stuffed animals, they have toys, they have a whole series on Angel Studios, and this has been a huge win for my kids. So this is what the inside of this book looks like. This is book 2, but there's 4. So do not forget the wing feather by Andrew Peterson. As promised, here was a whole load of favorite chapter books for boys, from boys. Most of these, like I said, were picked out by them. I will link everything I can down below. The ones that are paper pie, meaning they're either Usbourne or Kane Miller, because they're sold under paper pie now, that is a personal link. So if you choose to go off of that link, I do get a commission, so that you know that. But I will go ahead and link everything I can find. If you have any ones you want to add, please feel free to add them to the comment section. I have purchased a whole lot more chapter books for my kids. If you want to see those, they are they're in my curriculum picks. So my 4th grade curriculum picks and my 6th grade. And so those are books they haven't read yet, but maybe in a year I will have a list of new books to try that they have tried out this year and have loved. If you have any questions, let me know. And I don't know what the next video is going to be for next week, but I will see you then. Okay, thanks. Bye.